Hello, everyone, and welcome to another preview of the next scenario in line in my Operation Bagration campaign of Memoir 44. This one I've actually renamed into Roads of Ruin because I felt it was much more fitting to the historical setting as well as to how this scenario actually played. So I've renamed the one that originally bore this title into Obliteration, the Battle of the Babruysk Pocket, which preceded this one, where the Russians actually broke out. The Germans effectively routed and were trying to escape desperately. But yeah, in reality, they didn't quite succeed, which resulted in the Minsk Pocket and the large-scale destruction of Army Group Center. So for this one, let's have a look at the details as they stand now to this scenario. I will run them by you one by one. So first you see here that I've actually changed their name into Roads of Ruin, the Minsk Pocket. 18 medals will need to be obtained to win the scenario. The Russians start with 7 cards and the Germans have 4 cards, and they do move first. The Russians score for controlling objective hexes and 1 medal for each German unit destroyed as normal. The German player scores victory medals for forces that successfully escape the encirclement. They do not score any VPs by destroying Russian units. Instead, they score 1 VP medal for any 2 figurines, i.e. not units, exited off the map. The Germans can also score by controlling objective medals as usual, and by medals obtained through the deep battle special rule. This is an exit hex over here. And this is an exit hex, and they cannot exit in between in this particular scenario. It has to be via any one of those 2 exit hexes. The deep battle special rule, as you will probably remember by now if you've watched more of my videos on this campaign, symbolizes the need for the Russians to keep pushing, to keep pressing, and to maintain momentum. So anytime the Germans play a recon 1 card, they can, instead of drawing 2 replacement cards, draw just 1, but get a victory medal instead. As I said, that's an incentive for the Russians, a strong incentive to keep pushing and not to bide their time too much. For the Soviets, they can also score a sudden death victory, which symbolizes the ring closing. So if at any time the Soviet player controls all of the following, Stolpce, Rakov over here, and the 2 exit hexes, the German forces are considered to be fully encircled. The game ends immediately in a Soviet victory. The Soviet player gains all remaining victory medals, up to 18 total, so they cannot go beyond that somehow, and automatically claims all objective medals not yet under their control for objective scoring purposes. As the Germans cannot score for destroyed Soviet units in this scenario, they only score victory medals via the deep battle special rule if this were to occur. Well, it also has implications for the following scenario. So the one after this one, depending on what the result is, besides the regular results, such as a victory roll. Let me run those by you as well. In case of a German win, in the next scenario, the German player rolls 2 extra dice on their victory roll and adds all the escaped German figurines to the setup of the next scenario. Escaped German figurines may only be used to reinforce under strength units present in the next scenario's initial setup. No additional units may be created, and no unit may exceed its normal maximum strength, 4 figures for infantry, 3 for armor, 2 for artillery, etc. Each exited truck, cavalry, or half-track figure becomes a standard infantry figurine in case of a German win. In case of a Russian non-sudden death win, the Russian player rolls 1 extra die on their victory roll. And in case of a Russian sudden death result, the Soviets roll 2 extra dice on their victory roll. Well, the objective hexes, I'm not going to go over all of them at this moment, but there are 12 of them, and it means that the Germans start in control of all those hexes. All medals are last to occupy medals. So the Germans start with a 12-0 lead, which they actually need. It means that they need 6 more in order to win this scenario. So, of course, it's in the Russians' best interest to not allow them to do that. A rule on the trucks. Exited supply trucks and half-tracks units will grant the German VPs as indicated above. So for any 2 figurines, and they don't all have to be the same figurines, by the way, they will score 1 victory point. As per normal supply truck and half-track rules, however, the Russians will need to destroy 3 individual supply truck figures to score a single victory medal. And I now see that I forgot to mention that, but I believe the same rule applies to half-tracks. So we'll have to double check that. It might be 2 for half-tracks, but I think it's also 3. Other than that, there are other special rules in play. I don't know if they're actually special rules because all those rules already exist. Apart from the deep battle rule, which I have explained to you earlier, we have the blitz rules, but in this case they apply to the Russian forces, which mean that their tanks may move 3, and of course with bonuses on roads and everything, and the German tanks may only move 2, and the Russians may play Recon 1 cards as air power cards. Air superiority basically means kind of the same thing. Rules for mobile artillery, specialized forces, assault guns. Well, I've explained those before as well. I'm not going to go over all of these because they're all existing Memoir 44 special rules. This is a new one. German units marked with a battle star are rearguard units. These units may not exit the battlefield and may not score victory medals for exiting. They may still control objective hexes as normal. Obviously, there are a few over here which start off the scenario being very close to the exit hexes. So obviously, that would be a bit too easy to exit those. So that's why this special rule is in play. And it makes some historical sense. I mean, some units had to actually enable some of the German forces to escape. Another special rule, which is a pretty common one in this series of scenarios as well, is the fact that the Russians get additional reinforcements apart from the ones that may be granted to them by reinforcement tokens, which is something that has already been common in many Memoir 44 campaign battles. So at the start of each Russian turn, they roll 3 dice and they receive the unit indicated below, if any, of course. Well, you can see it for yourselves. And then step 2 would be for them to roll another die. And on a 1, 2, 3 result, they have to place their units here. And on a 4 to 6 result, they have to place it in any of the hexes here. If placed on one of the river hexes, obviously not the one with a bridge, any infantry unit, other units cannot be placed there, obviously. Any infantry unit, regular infantry unit, would be using automatically its collapsible boats and rafts ability. Well, I do believe that's about it. I hope this has sparked your interest, and soon I will post another playthrough of this scenario as well. So again, I hope you've enjoyed, and see you on the next one.